Hello and welcome to Daily Prelims Practice. Here we take up MCQs based on important articles from the Hindu and the Indian Express newspaper. Topics which we are going to cover today are displayed on your screen. Let's begin the discussion. Now let's start our session with our first question, which is based on this article, and this article appeared on page 1 in the Hindu newspaper. The context of this article is that while giving his address to students at the 6th edition of the Pariksha Pe Charcha, Honorable Prime Minister urged students to learn languages other than their mother tongue. He also highlighted the fact that Tamil is the oldest language and source of pride for all. Now, being one of the classical language, this news is important from the perspective of the UPSC examination, as UPSC has previously asked questions based on classical languages in 2014. So let's take up today's practice question. Question says, which among the following language was the first to be conferred the status of classical language? Now, in 2004, the Government of India decided to create new category of languages called as classical languages. In 2006, it laid down the criteria for conferring the classical language status. So far, 6 languages are granted the classical language status. In 2004, Tamil was the first to be conferred the status of classical language. In 2005, Sanskrit. In 2008, Telugu. Again in 2008, Kannada. In 2013, Malayalam. And the last in 2014, Oriya language. So our answer is option B, that is Tamil. And answer of this PYQ is option C, that is 2 and 3 only. Now our next question is based on this article. According to this article, recently, India wants to modify the 60-year-old Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan to resolve disputes over the Kishanganga and Ratal hydropower projects both in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, Indus Water Treaty is in news owing to its intricate nature and its implication on India and Pakistan bilateral relations. Based on these news, UPSC has asked a question based on Indus River system in 2021. So we have curated practice question based on the same theme. Question says, with reference to Indus River system, what would be the correct sequence of occurrence of the rivers if one would travel from north to south direction? The first option is River Ravi, second Satluj, third Jhelum, and the fourth one is Chenab. Now, as you know, Indus is one of the largest river basins of the world. The Indus, also known as the Sindhu, is the westernmost of the Himalayan rivers in India. The river flows southwards and receives Panchnath a little above Mithankot. Now the Panchnath is the name given to the 5 rivers of Punjab, namely Satluj, Ravi, Beas, Chenab and Jhelum. Now, in this practice question, you have to identify the correct sequence of occurrence from north to south. So the first is Jhelum, so that is option 3. Second is Chenab, that is option 4. Then next is River Ravi, that is option 1. And the last is River Satluj, that is option 2. So your correct sequence is 3, 4, 1, 2. So here our correct answer is option D. Answer of this PYQ is option D, Satluj. Now next question is based on this article, and this article talks about Asian Water Birth Census 2023 that has recorded a 65% increase in water births in Kerala's Trivendrapuram district, although with a slight dip in the count of species. Now, UPSC has been asking questions based on flora and fauna which feature in endangered species listing of IUCN, as it has asked question to identify endangered species in year 2013. So let's come to the practice question. Here, you have to identify which of the above is or are critically endangered bird species of India. The first is Bengal florican, second sociable lapwing, and the third one is white-bellied heron. Now, sociable lapwing is a winter migrant bird to India and it is considered as critically endangered under grassland species. Same Bengal florican, native to Indian subcontinent, Cambodia and Vietnam, is also considered critically endangered under grassland species. And the last one, white-bellied heron, one of the large heron species living in the foothills of eastern Himalaya, also considered critically endangered but under non-migratory wetland species. So with this, our correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3, as all are considered critically endangered species. Answer of this PYQ is option C. Now our next question is based on this article, and this article talks about the popularity of Kashmir Pashmina shawls. Now let's discuss more about it with the help of MCQ. Also, in 2014, there was a reference of Pashmina goats with reference to Changpa community. Now basically they are semi-nomadic Tibetan people mainly found in Changtang, a high plateau that stretches across the cold desert of Ladakh and also in some parts of Jammu and Kashmir. So with this you can see that you can easily eliminate two options, that is option A and option D, as it includes statement 1, that is incorrect statement. Also, Changpa community major occupation is rearing of Pashmina goats. So second statement is correct and third statement is also correct. So here correct answer of this previous year question is option B, 2 and 3 only. Now let's come to the practice question. Here you have to identify the correct statements with reference to Pashmina shawls. The first statement is the shawls are well known for their intricate batik patterns. Now Kashmir famed Pashmina shawls are well known for their intricate buta or pasle patterns. The shape of buta and the word buta is of Persian origin. And batik, this is a method of fabric decoration in which one end of the fabric is permeated with molten wax and then dyed in coal to produce multicolored batik sari and dupattas. Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal are well known for their batik art. So with this our first statement is incorrect. Now let's come to the second statement. The fabric for the shawl is obtained from the Chantangi goats endemic to Ladakh region. Now, the wool comes from a number of different breeds of the Kashmiri goat, like Pashmina goat from Changtang Plateau in Tibet and part of Ladakh region and few parts of Himachal Pradesh. So our second statement is incorrect as it talks only about Ladakh region. Now let's come to the third statement. Bureau of Indian Standards has published an Indian standard for Pashmina shawls to certify its purity. Now this statement is correct as Bureau of Indian Standards has published an Indian standard for identification, marking and labeling of Pashmina products to certify its purity. The certification will help curb the adulteration of Pashmina and protect the interests of local artisans and nomads who are the producer of Pashmina raw material. So with this our correct answer is option C, that is 3 only. Now our next question is based on this article, and according to this article, recently Israel Defense Minister signaled that the military would stop its airstrike if Palestinian militant groups halted rocket attack. Now the purpose of picking that article is that UPSC has been asking questions based on important region often mentioned in the news. Like this question came in year 2018. So here we have curated practice question based on the same theme. In this practice question, you have to identify the incorrect match. So the first region is Levant, second West Bank, and the third is Tigray. Now, Levant is an approximate historical geographical term referring to a large area in the eastern Mediterranean region of the West Asia. It comprises Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Palestine and Jordan. So first pair is incorrect. Now next is West Bank. It is a landlocked territory near the coast of the Mediterranean Sea in the Western Asia that forms the main bulk of the Palestinian territories. Now it is bordered by Jordan and the Dead Sea to the east and by Israel to the south, west and north. So with this our second pair is correct. And the last, Tigray region. Officially, the Tigray National Regional State is the northernmost regional state in Ethiopia. Also, the Tigray region is the homeland of the Tigrayan, Irob and Kunama people. So with this, our third pair is incorrect. So as we have to find the incorrect pairs, so our answer is option D, 1 and 3 only. Answer of this PYQ is option B. Now our last question is based on this article, and this article appeared on page 17 in the Indian Express. This article talks about Ramcharitmanas and Tulsidas, which is important as UPSC has been asking questions based on important literature. Like this question came in year 2022 based on Sangam literature. So let's come to the practice question. In this question, you have to identify correct statements. The first statement is Ramcharitmanas was originally written by the Tulsidas in Sanskrit language. Now, Ramcharitmanas is an epic poem in the Avdi language and not in Sanskrit language, based on the Ramayana and composed by the 16th century Indian Bhakti poet Tulsidas. This work is also called in popular parlance Tulsi Ramayana. So our first statement is incorrect. Now let's come to the second statement. Tulsidas was the contemporary of Mughal ruler Humayun. Now, Tulsidas was born in year 1532 and died between 1620 to 23. And he was contemporary of Akbar, who ruled from 1542 to 1605. So our second statement is incorrect. So here our correct answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. Answer of this PYQ is option B. That's all for today. Stay tuned for more such updates.